You're not standing and clapping like I was, Trent.
Oh, no. Takes too much to sit down.
Well, welcome back, folks, to the Tiger Sports Show. In a new year, it's Tiger Sports Show 2021, Trent. How's the new year going so far?
Oh, I don't know. Hasn't changed much yet, so
That's what I saw somebody say on Twitter the other day. They said 2021, worst sequel ever so far.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got the email Friday, so that's a big thing. So
All right. What are you talking, vaccination?
yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting. I filled out that form fast.
I did it in 2 seconds, right? Before I left the building.
I was like clicking and filling out. I want to find
Sign
out who
me
was
up.
first.
I even gave my real name.
All right. Well, welcome back, folks, for another week of the Tiger Sports Show, where we talk about whatever Trent and I want to talk about, plus Tiger athletics for the week. Been a big week as the Tigers have returned to school and returned to competition. Let's start talking basketball, Trent. The boys made a solo trip to Elkhorn Mount Michael to face the Knights and battled a pretty good team for a while, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Tigers led 14-12 after the first, probably the smallest gym in the state. I would love to know what 50% of their gym would be because I counted. Well, we couldn't. The cameras on the side probably where most of the parents were, but I counted maybe 5 Hastings parents in the one inline end zone bleachers. They came out with a ton of fire. The Elkhorn Strive announcer kept talking about how much energy Hastings was playing with in the first quarter. They trailed 14-12. Coach Danielson's motto has been "Make your own energy," since there haven't been very big crowds. And then I got away from them. Elkhorn Mount Michael, number 1 team in the state in Class B. Almost all the returning starters. Almost they got all the returning starters back, and Tigers fell 67-36, so wasn't too bad.
And Mount Michael's one of the best teams in the state. Am I right? I'm not very good at keeping track of the boys' side.
Yeah, you got Bellevue West. Bellevue West and Millard North just played a classic over the holiday break last weekend. Dad and I watched that on Strive, and that was 94-91 in double OT. And kid from Millard North had 48 points. So I would definitely put Elkhorn Mount Michael up maybe in the top 5 with the teams in the state.
Is that the Salis kid? Is that it from
No,
Millard?
that wasn't him. That was St. Thomas had 48.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one that went off. So that was just a fun game to watch. Those are 2 up and down teams. Then you throw Kearney Catholic into that mix. And then Kearney Catholic just did a number on GACC boys. They were up 30-7 at halftime. I guarantee you Bill Gavers might have been rolling over through his Strive if he had seen that. I don't think Tino had experienced a beat down, but then it was close at the end. But Kearney Catholic's pretty solid team with their boys.
They are.
I would put them up, and then a Pius X with Coach Hoiberg twins. I've watched them a couple of times. Strive is a great, wonderful thing because I've watched a ton of different basketball, and then with the cable channel that's been running games. So.
Yeah, Ann and I, Mrs. Mays and I were just talking today kind of about history of ESPN. She's got somebody doing ESPN for History Day project.
Wow, that's cool.
And, we were just talking about the good and the bad. And, one of the things ESPN really did is really cut high school attendance. Lots of people in the community without a direct connection. It just got super easy to just sit at home and watch ESPN. But I think Strive's kind of doing the opposite of that. It's getting people interested in high school games, and hopefully, once things get back to a little bit of normal, there's my ESPN sound coming through my phone, that people will get out to more games too because they're interested. Well, Saturday night, the Tigers were back home, boy-girl doubleheader against Lex. How'd the boys' game go?
The boys pulled out a win at the buzzer. Our favorite quarterback, Mr. Cynic, hit 1 of 2 free throws to make it a 3-point game. Tigers led 54-51 and just made life tough for Lex. They couldn't get a shot up. We call it Tiger Tough D is one of my little mottos because we're always going to try to be Tiger Tough. The Tigers trailed. Coach Drew, Coach D, always talks about how they've always faced a lot of adversity in their games. They did last night. They got down 10 in the first half, trailed 32-22 at half, and they just stayed with it. That's what our correspondent, our father, said. He gave me a little breakdown a little while ago. Whitty had 12 in the third quarter. I had him for 27 unofficially when I was watching, and just a great job. They didn't let the shot get up at the end and won 54-51. So how did the girls do?
Oh, I thought the girls was a good night. We played Lexington for the second straight time, which is kind of a weird deal because of the holiday tournament. In the holiday tournament, we'd really jumped on them, got out like 20-4, and then they'd really played us even the rest of the time. They came out and played a little zone against us in that first game, and we really hurt them. So they came out man-to-man this time. I felt the girls did a good job. I thought we got a lot of good shots, but they weren't all falling in the first half, and Lex really hung around. Lex was playing very aggressively. We probably let them get away with gambling a little bit. In fact, if anything, I told the newspaper guy at the end of the game, I thought it was contagious. We started gambling a little too much, which you don't want to do to a team that's struggling to score because, you're kind of creating some opportunities for them. And, we kind of kept them in the game a little bit because of that. And they just played hard. They're a team that's playing awful hard. They're young. I think they're playing one senior. And then we kind of got rolling a little bit and slowly pulled away. Mac Long hit some big shots. I was really happy to see that because she'd missed some in the first half. I mean, heck, some of those she missed in the first half didn't even land on the right half of the gym. She was off. But she came back in the second half, kept at it. Like to see that out of a scorer like her. Nai DeWong picked up some points for us. Lauren Heinrichs picked up some points for us. Kind of kept us going for a while. And then we had – some people come in. Sophie Cerveny probably played a few more minutes than she had been. Al Curtis jumped in and helped us a little bit. We're really starting to lean on Charlie Coyle to do some defensive things for us. So an exciting night and got a good solid win. And now over to Aurora next week.
I thought Charlie did a really good number just with her overall intensity on defense. Charlie's just like an Energizer rabbit. She's just going to go and go. And she's got a tough battle with some of the bigger girls. Lauren Heinrichs hit the big rainbow hook a couple times and then had an outside jumper that went straight down the net. Question for you. We were without I would call the heart and soul of the team, Daisy Seeley. What's an update on Daisy?
Well, Daisy just tweaked an ankle. It's, doesn't seem to be anything too serious at all. She tweaked it on Monday. I told her, like a smart senior, always tweak it on Monday of a Saturday game week. And then you got plenty of time to get it ready. And she came back Thursday, and she was overdoing the agility drills. Ashley, the trainer, had her going through. And I'm like, wow, that's what a college athlete looks like doing agility drills because she looked solid. So she came back in to practice a little bit and just tweaked that thing again, caught somebody's foot in transition, stepped on it just enough to make Ashley and I go, I think we need to sit down. And so we sat her down. Saturday night, she helped me coach, sat by me and helped me coach. And was good because my voice was going. She had to talk to the girls quite a bit. And we think we'll have her back Tuesday. I wouldn't say it's for sure, but it's certainly not a long-term thing. So that caused us some trouble. Like I said, we had to have some people play a little bit who hadn't played quite that many minutes. And so, hopefully that's something that pays off for us at the end of the year.
And if the KK, it seemed like KK was given every ounce of energy she had at times. I thought you were going to have to pull her off the court a couple times just to get a breather and then go back in. And you were doing like quick line changes. Coach Liz has has her work in front of her. It seems like you were running girls in every minute or a minute and a half or something, which is good because you want to keep playing at a quick pace.
Yeah, Coach Vanderpool is handling our substitutions, and she had to do some thinking last night because not only were we without Daisy, Mac got in a little foul trouble and Naya got in a little foul trouble. And so all of a sudden we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? And KK doesn't have a slower gear, so she's going to work herself tired. We actually had to use a timeout to kind of rest her a little bit when we didn't think we could go any longer. And so, we were piecing it together a little bit, but those are the kind of games that can help us out in the long run.
And I really loved the end of the quarter defense. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, they had chances to score, to get some momentum. Tigers slammed the door shut. And I don't even think they got a shot up in those last minute. Those are the things I pay attention to, is trying to win that last minute, and then obviously counting possessions when we're ahead in the second half. And I was a little nervous when I got to 3 possessions, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, they were hanging around. I think into quarters our girls do a nice job with, especially defensively. We're an experienced team. They're very aware of the clock, and they know what it means when it's 45 seconds, when it's 30 seconds, when it's 18 seconds. They kind of know what we want from that. Offensively, we're still making sure we understand when we want that shot to go up. But we also want to stay aggressive. So, once in a while we take one a little early maybe. But I thought we did a good job, those end of quarter situations. And we'll see. We're still hanging around about number 10, number 11 on the wild card charts. We really need to fight for that top 8. So we got to keep winning games where maybe we're the higher seeded team. And then we've got to find some big games to win here in January.
Yeah, same with the boys. The boys are sitting 11th at 6-3. So they're in movement territory. They have a big one with Aurora on Tuesday. Aurora's one spot ahead of them at 5-3, and Aurora knocked off our friends from the West, the AC Patriots. So anytime you go to the Husky, the Dog Pound, and that, it's always an interesting night for Hastings.
The Aurora boys beat AC?
Yeah, they beat AC first game.
Oh, yeah, back at the beginning. Okay.
So the Dog Pound's always an interesting adventure for Tiger teams, I think. So.
I tell you, it can be a tough place to play. And you really noticed the crowd difference that going up to 50% last night.
Yeah.
It was a lot louder. We had some trouble communicating a little bit, which is good. You want a loud gym. I may have to dig the signs out, Trent.
Yeah.
I may need to get those out.
Yeah, the boys, Jacobus's dad, Adam Jacobus, commented on social media how he thought the crowd played a big part in the boys' games, gave them a lot of momentum, and they had a pretty decent student section. That was Carson Shoemaker, little shoe in the boys, had the flag going in the boys' game. So I was curious to see how many students would show up. The cheer squad started doing a couple things with the home side, so it was good to see some noise in the jungle last night.
Well, my favorite part was that Mrs. Douglas went with the pep band piped in music instead of just some dance tracks for warm-ups. I thought that was much better to set the tone.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to hear that.
Had a little recorded. You don't always show up for the girls' games, I know.
I do. I just don't show up until right before they start. So,
all right. Well, let's change gears here a little bit. We're having a little trouble with our special guest, so let's talk swimming before we go to wrestling. The swimmers yesterday were over at Kearney for a pretty impressive invitational. The boys finished 5th. Jacob Haase got a win for the boys in the 100 free. Kearney was the boys champion. A pretty good set of teams over there, the Tigers finished well ahead of Scotts Bluff, a team that's been a traditional power in our part of the state. If you consider the West our part of the state, in swimming, they definitely are. And so a good day for the boys, and then a great day, I think, for the girls. They finished third, but just out of the money. They were 4 points behind the Swimming Bearcats of Kearney and 7 points behind Pius X out of Lincoln, who won it. Diana Brillita, again, with some big wins. She won the 50 and 100 free. Abby Lauder won the 200 and the 500 free, and the 200 free relay team was the champion. So, I think we're seeing the girls really showing their strength. They've got some people who are really going to be competitive statewide, as you see when they get in these bigger meets. Just an exciting time for Coach Scribb and the Tiger swimmers. You said you saw some swim rankings?
Yeah, there's some swim, I think top times in the state, thanks to our father, our Tiger Sports Show correspondent and newspaper. I guess we'll call him the newspaper editor of the show. 53 ranked 7th is Diana Berlita. Diana. She's 7th in the 53. Our 200 free relay has the 8th fastest time, and our 400 free relay has the 7th fastest time in the World Herald. So that was nice to see the girls with some mention in the World Herald paper.
Yeah, the magic numbers in swimming, I believe, are 8 and 16. 16 people get into the final race. There's the top 8 in the championship and the second 8 in the consolations, which still score points in the team standings. So those top 8, spots, the people will be battling for those. So that's exciting. Let's talk wrestling a little bit. I got bad news. Our guest is having technical difficulties. One of the big fans of the Tiger Sports Show, Marcus Miller, we were hoping to get that man on here. I got some tough questions ready for Marcus, but I don't know that it's going to work this week. So we hold it.
Oh, wait. Here he is.
Marcus, is that you? Can you hear us at all?
Whoop, now he's sideways. Marcus?
I'm not sure he can hear us.
Now he's
gone. Dang it. All right. Well, the dream still lives. Marcus got his couple seconds at least there, but we'll have to get him back to the Tiger Sports Show. I'm sure our executive producer is endeavoring as we speak, but let's talk a little bit about what the wrestlers have been up to over holiday break. They had a couple duels against some of the very best teams in the state. They pushed Columbus before losing 43-28, and then they took a shot on the chin from Millard South. But I tell you, Millard South Trent's one of the best wrestling teams in the nation, not just in Nebraska. So that was a tough one. And then they headed out to North Platte for an invite. All those wrestling invite now, Trent, they're like duels. They're just multiple duels instead of the old big bracket stage. Yeah. That way more guys get to wrestle. I don't know. As an old guy, it makes me grumpy when they change things.
Oh, it's just different. So,
all right.
I think with COVID issues, it's just tougher to have those individual tournaments probably right now. So,
well, yeah, they're keeping track of a lot of stuff that way. North Platte invite, the Tigers finished third. We beat Gehring, beat Gothenburg, then lost to Grand Island. Don't like to see that, but Grand Island's a good Class A program, and then came back and beat Scotts Bluff. One thing I wanted to talk to Marcus about is who exactly the teams in Class B we should be paying attention to, who are going to be trying to steal the Tigers' crown. You know anything about that, Trent?
Well, I know they had a big dual matchup with Beatrice. Beatrice was rated second last week, and the Tigers pulled out the victory. So,
yes, they did. 39-35 Tiger win. I know we've got highlights of Marcus finishing off his match. Maybe I don't know. Trent Tate's in discussions with Marcus here, trying to figure out. Oh, here we go. Okay, so as I understand this, in my That's Marcus on top here, and he's going to get reversed. Which I know enough wrestling to know, okay, that's not great.
Yeah, you got
there's the reversal.
That guy's gonna get he's gonna get some reversal points.
Yeah,
I know more than you do.
But Marcus is going to take care of business here. I'm sure he could tell us technically what he's doing here.
Oh, Marcus could go through step by step.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
As far as I can tell, he's just fighting for his life, though.
Yeah, he's just trying to get leverage. I've coached enough of these wrestlers to pick up some. So he's going to try to get back. And I know there's probably riding points somewhere involved. And then he got the pin. So
yeah,
Marcus flips him over.
A big win there for the Tigers at Beatrice. You can see where they went with the dramatic lighting there in the Orangeman Gym. I like that. And that ended up being a 39-35 win for the wrestlers. And like you said, Trent, a big win on the state stage, huh?
Yeah, we were I had rankings last week for Class B, but obviously I was here and there was nobody else. So
you should have just hit the record button, bud.
Yeah, no. I'm going to do that.
All right. Well, let's see. What else do I know went on Tiger Sports this week? I know some of the younger basketball teams had a good week.
Oh, crap.
Tiger Boys JVs last night won an exciting game with Lex. You missed that because you didn't show up early for the girls' game. But they had an exciting game. They got a lot of young guys on the floor, and made some big plays down the stretch. I thought played with a lot of composure, won that JV game. Do you know how the JVs did the night before at Mount Michael?
I actually have an update on the lower class boys basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Coach D came through. The freshmen are 6-1.
They won Northwest the other day, Trent. You would have liked that game. They ran the Vikings out of their own gym. It was not close.
Wow. I like that. They beat Class with wins over Class A Grand Island and Kearney. They beat GA Northwest 61-29.
I told you. I heard that from my daughter. She said they whooped them.
Yeah. The reserves are 2-1. They had a big win over Kearney. And it says the 9th and 10th graders are 1-1. And the whole program is 15-5 from Coach D.
Exciting. And I tell you, we really like that about Coach Danielson. He's got that whole program feel, all the way down to his youth programs. And that's great. The future of Tigers boys basketball, I feel like, is in great shape. On the girls' side, the girls went over to Northwest and won that game too, Trent, the girls' reserve team. So, and they both reserve teams head to McCook. The boys might be sending the freshmen. I'm always a little confused about who they send.
I think it's freshmen.
Yeah. And the girls will be heading out there too. And so that's always a big game because that's a big trip for freshmen. That's further than I ever drove as a freshman. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We only went to Grand Island and Kearney.
Oh, Columbus. We went to Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus. That's about it. But that's also a district opponent too. So
yeah, always nice.
Right now,
always nice to get those wins.
Even at the younger ones.
Girls JV had a nice win last night, Trent. Lex, I told you Lex's varsity team's young, and so they were rotating in at least two girls. In fact, one of their sophomores, who I think is really going to be one of their best players in the long run. They were rotating them in against the JV, and our JVs hung tough, really kind of held on to like a 1-2 point lead the whole game, and then stretched at the end and got a win. So that was a big win. Libby Langren's been playing a lot for us, JV. Charlie Coyle, Anna Brandt's been doing a nice job. Sydney Whitty, Emma Sinek, who got in the varsity game a little bit, has been playing really well. So exciting time for all the young Tiger teams too, huh?
Yeah, definitely. A lot to look forward to.
All right. Well, for our last segment here, Trent, it's 2021 now. You know what that means?
Oh,
It's
19.
been 50 years since 1971. Can you think of anything that happened in 1971?
I know might have been a high jump.
Nope, no high
Oh,
jump.
really? Oh,
What,
wow.
what happened in December of 1971, Trent?
Oh, God.
You were born, buddy. You were
Yeah.
born.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marcus, it's working with Marcus.
Oh, it is. Well, instead of talking about your birthday, should we go to Marcus and ask him a couple questions?
I'm not 50 yet. Are you
This
kidding?
is your 50th year, Marcus. That guy up there in the corner, this is his 50th year of life. Can you imagine
Oh,
being that
God.
old?
I can't.
All right, Marcus, I'm glad we finally got things rolling.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Where were you working? You're employed?
I was working at Amigos.
Yes.
All right.
I knew he worked there.
You did?
Yes, they all worked there. All the Millers worked there. They
Yes,
even mow their grass.
The crisp meat burrito, Marcus.
Yep.
That's my favorite. That's my go-to, the crisp meat.
Oh, soft taco with no lettuce.
Yeah.
Lettuce
Is not super classy. No lettuce.
Microwave lettuce? Are you kidding me? God, that's like wrong.
Hey, come on now. Quit running down amigos here.
No, I
All right.
love Amigos.
Okay.
Combination burritos, soft or the oh God, we turned this into the Migos show.
Well, let's wait for their sponsorship. Let's ask Marcus some questions about wrestling. Marcus, we already watched your highlights against Beatrice. Pretty exciting there at the end. A reversal to you. Tell us a little bit about the end of that match.
At the beginning of the match, he like baited me at the cradle, so he locked it up again, and then I just sat my hips and reversed him, put him to his back, pinned him.
Pretty good. Trent said leverage. Trent said you used leverage.
Yeah, I did.
I know.
All right.
I watch his dad's live, whatever. His dad puts all his matches on Facebook, and I can hear him coaching. I know Coach Miller. He's one of my guys.
That's awesome. Hey, Marcus, I mean, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. We watched Dylan wrestle at Hastings, and I got to tell you, wrestling seems to be a family thing. What is it about wrestling that makes it kind of family thing where brothers follow brothers into it?
My dad started wrestling with my brother Delbert back in high school, and then I just started when I was younger, and then so did my brother. So we just kept it going.
That sounds pretty good. The first time I knew KK Laux was going to be a good basketball player for me, it was because there was a wrestling tournament going on, and she was in the gym against all the wrestling little brothers, man, and she was just handling them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's next for the wrestlers? Where are you guys headed? You guys kind of had a weekend off, didn't you?
Yep. This was our week off, rest, and then we'll get back after it tomorrow, Monday, and then Saturday we're in Northwest for a dual tournament.
Ooh. Well, Trent, he doesn't like the Vikings. So if you run into them, you got to handle them.
Do not like the Vikings.
All right. Well, give us the lay of the land in the state. Trent's been telling us that Beatrice team you guys went and beat was pretty highly ranked. Who are some of the other Class B teams that Tiger fans should kind of be keeping an eye on?
Gehring, who we beat at the North Platte duels.
Yeah.
Bennington, the Badgers.
Yeah.
And Pierce, I think, are top like 4. So
pretty good teams. What about Omaha Scott? What's going on there? They were so dominant for so long.
I don't know. They just have like a few good wrestlers then and there. So
maybe they all went to Millard South.
Probably.
That's kind of my theory. Boy, Millard South must have a heck of a team, Marcus.
Oh yeah, they're good. They gave us a handle.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
you can learn from things like
we know how solid you guys are, so that was impressive by them. I'm certain they're the favorite in Class A, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and then probably Lincoln East second, I'm guessing.
All right. Well, Marcus,
I got one question.
Go for it, Trent.
How has COVID changed the way you guys practice? How is just with the different things in the Tiger Dungeon on the stage?
We just try to like keep the same partners. So if somebody gets COVID, we don't all have to quarantine and stuff. And then like we just wear a mask usually. like when we're around people and stuff. So keep it away.
Yeah, that's really good.
Sounds good. Hey, Marcus, tell us a little bit about the Tiger team. I mean, are there some spots varsity wise that are still kind of in competition? You know, what are the most competitive weights for the Tigers?
Probably 113 pounds and 126 probably is our, because we have challenges like every week, and those are the two weights that challenge every single week.
Who's in the mix at 113?
Hunter Anderson and then Jaden Meyer.
Yeah, I can see why that would be pretty competitive. What about at 126?
Drake Anderson, Tucker Adams, and then Elijah Johnson's going down to 26.
Oh,
Getting crowded down there, huh?
all those guys.
All right. Well, good luck to you through the rest of the year, Marcus. And now that we know how to handle this technically, we'll have to get you back into the show, don't you think?
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to bring him in for Tiger baseball. So,
Oh, you a
Marcus.
baseball guy too, Marcus?
Yes, I am.
What should we expect for Tiger baseball come spring? Lots of new faces, right?
Yeah. It's going to be a different year.
All right. Well,
Chugging away.
we'll get there. Hopefully they'll have a vaccine in my arm by then, Marcus. All right. We got to get that federal government going and get me a vaccine. That's really what this show's all about now, is me just begging for that vaccine.
I'm begging before you, buddy.
All right, Marcus, thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
Marcus.
And we'll watch for you and the Tiger Wrestlers on down the line.
I've known Marcus and his family for many, 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 many years.
Is he a Husker? Was he a
Yeah.
little Husker?
Oh yeah, both of them
Yeah.
were. That's why
Well,
we always draft wrestlers, because they're
Yep.
tough kids when they're younger.
Yeah, they are. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Marcus. Have a great week.
Yeah, thanks
See
for
you,
having me.
Marcus.
All right, Trent, we're back to the celebration of 1971. I was going to bring in baby pictures of you, and we were just going to make that a weekly deal where we kind of follow Trent's life. But instead, I also remembered it's been 50 years since the great boys basketball team, the great Tigers boys basketball team of 1971. Tall Paul Thomas, the All-Stater, Jeff O'Donnell, John Johnson was on that team. Scott Stickles was a junior on that team, coached by the great Coach Smith, who taught me calculus. Did you ever have math class with Coach Smith?
No,
Yeah,
Coach
he was a
Stickles
great guy.
was a football coach.
What was?
Stickles Scott.
He was a football coach on those great teams.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was with Coach Olson.
He graduated in 1972. Coach Smith, my favorite memories of Coach Smith are they would always honor a player of the week at the Kiwanis. And if you were honored as the player of the week, you had to get up super early and go eat pancakes with those guys. But if you did, number one, you got pancakes. Number two, they said nice things about you. And number three, Coach Smith would give you a ride back to the high school in his little brown MG. He had this great little sports car. Now, the problem was it was always winter, and that was a convertible. And so, man, even though the top was up, it was cold in that car. But Coach Smith, he loved that convertible. And he'd give you a ride back up. The Tiger basketball team that year was one of the best in the state. Lincoln East will end up being the state champions. They escaped the Tigers in the semifinal, 84-83. I think we've got the last couple minutes of that game. Do we? Yep, here we go. Here the Tigers are down 84-81. They got Paul Thomas at the high post, knocking that shot down. So it's 84-83. And the press is on. East gets it up. That's the old Coliseum floor. I think this is Reckaway, Kent Reckaway, the East All-Stater. And he's just going to try to dribble out the clock here as the Tigers are trying to trap, haven't decided whether they're going to foul yet. I think that an East player stands in the lane before he puts up that shot. And they call 3 seconds. So now the Tigers have the ball with one last chance down one here, Trent.
Man, that is a huge crowd.
It is.
They are right on the edge of the court.
Tigers, of course, are going to work it, get it into Tall Paul here. First one doesn't go. Rebound doesn't go. Tigers get one more shot. And we really could have used a foul call there. That guy, the East Spartan, was still checking out Paul Thomas on that last shot. And you see the East crowd rushing the floor. They knew that was a big semifinal win. But just a great Tiger team. We've got a couple of their games. We've got their regular season game against East and their regular season win over the Grand Island Islanders. You know how I like wins over the Grand Island Islanders. Those are both available on YouTube if the folks want to search for that. 1971 Hastings and Grand Island.
Since you gave a shout out to one of your favorite teachers, this was Facebook does do some good things. When you celebrate a moment or something, it shows up in your timeline. This week, Louis Pratters, the late Louis Pratters, was celebrating his 82nd birthday.
He'd have been 82 today, huh?
Yeah. No, this week. I think it was Wednesday. But it always shows up on my timeline. So I always send out a birthday shout out to Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou.
He made school fun my senior year, taking Brit Lit for the first time. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I moved up a couple levels in English. And Brit Lit was fun. Sweet Lou made it fun.
A lot of Hastings Tiger alums out there would point to Lou Pratters as a big part of their growing up. A truly great man. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for the Tiger Sports Show this week, Trent. What do you want to say?
Well, but just a big week. The wrestlers are going. I'm not sure what swimmers are doing. You guys have McCook Friday, and I think you go to Elkhorn on Saturday. I don't think we go to Elkhorn, right?
Yeah, we go to Elkhorn High, only us.
Yeah, because the boys play them later in the year. You got to go to the Dog Pound on Tuesday, so it's definitely a big week for the basketball teams and the wrestlers and the swimmers. So, and we just say go Tigers. So,
all right, go Tigers. Thanks a lot, folks. See you next week.